Hey guys, my name's Justin and welcome to Hellsboro, where we care about the design behind designer luxury. And if you do too, make sure to subscribe. Alright, so for today's video, I heard about this coming out, the creative director of BALMAIN, Olivier Rousteing. Is that right? Is there no French in there? Is that correct? Let me know. In collaboration with BEYONCÉ, I'm creating the miniature couture collection revolving around Renaissance. I want to take some time just kind of talk through the looks and yeah, we can have fun and grab a snack or something. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but snacks are good. First off, Olivier Rousteing did partner with Beyoncé for her Beychella looks. And yeah, so last summer Renaissance came out, right? He listened to it on repeat like many of us did. And then even on this holiday, he kept listening to it and he kind of kept sketching and came up with all these different kinds of looks. I'll link the Vogue article down below so that you can parse through it yourself. Yeah, so after he created all those looks, he actually reached out to Beyonce's stylist Marnie and I think Beyonce herself. They were just taken aback and they were like, okay, let's do this. So one of the great things about this is that there's two kind of historical firsts that happen surrounding this. One of them has been established for quite a while now. Olivier Rousteing is a black man championing this legacy, long-standing house of BALMAIN, but that's just one side of it, right? And then on the other side of it, we have Beyoncé actually being an integral part of the design process. So this haute couture collection has a black woman actually overseeing it in this iconic legacy fashion house. And I think that's really impressive and really amazing. And like Olivier says in the article, I hope it's not the last. I hope it's just a series of firsts that kick off to even more. So I don't know, it's really exciting and I think that's one of the reasons why I was so excited about this. Okay, that was just a quick overview. Let's look into the looks now. Look into the looks. So in this article, there's actually 12 looks that are spoken about, and it's actually Olivier who kind of gives some notes about the pieces and the reasons and kind of the inspiration behind it. If you want to see all 12, go to the article. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I wanted to just cherry pick a few of my favorites and kind of just take a closer look with you. So the first look I wanted to talk about is actually based on the album opener, I'm That Girl. One of the things about this article it also says which lyric is the direct contributor to the inspiration for this look. So for this look, the line is, I'm not gonna sing it, so I'm gonna read it, so it might sound weird and you might not recognize it. From the top of the morning, I shine right through the blinds, touching everything in my plain view, and everything next to me gets lit up too. I love the idea of this very aggressive look. Not aggressive as in mean aggressive, but aggressive, very body forward, but also you see a lot of sharp lines showing a lot of strength. It's so indicative of that song, of how it is about being yes, I am the one. I think the most standout thing about this look is of course the bodice, which is actually made out of a hammered metal, done in collaboration with the artist Eli Hirsch. I think I'm pronouncing it right. If not, let me know. But I love that it's it's very body forward. You can see all the shapes of breasts and ribs and torso all just going down, and then it's projected from it these very sharp, hard spikes. I love that kind of contrast of the softness of curves versus the strength and again that kind of aggressive spike coming out. And then it is paired with some long black lambskin gloves and a really long, they call it a pareo or a pareo, I don't know, skirt. I don't know what that means. I should look it up, but I'm not going to right now because I just wanted to film this because I just got so excited. So it's gonna seem like I'm talking about every single song, but I just think that these first looks, all of them are beautiful and amazing and super strong, but these first few looks are just really amazing to me. So the next one I want to talk about is the one for Cozy, which comes right after I'm That Girl, but whatever. Look at this dress. It is literally insane. The lyric that actually inspired this dress is, paint the town red like cinnamon, yellow diamonds, limoncello, glycerin, rainbow gelato in the streets. They didn't include it in the Vogue article for some reason. This dress, I think, is meant to represent the line, paint the town pussy pink. they call it a fireworks dress. Hold on, there's a French name that I'm going to butcher for you guys. Feu d'artifice
Oui.
dress, but a fireworks dress. So it's black velvet. They say it's embroidered with pink feathers, but if you're looking at the structure, you can see like it like all completely like stands out and creates this almost like, it looks kind of like a, when you picture like an amoeba or like a virus or something, like that's kind of the shape. But then like because of the color and the material, it definitely feels more like fireworks, especially because it's like a black velvet to kind of like help absorb the light. I love this look. I love that it's also partnered with, it looks like a turban. And then the turban is also the same, I'm assuming the same black velvet, and then the boots that accompany it are also black velvet. It's almost like an out there, outlandish kind of like look. There is like a certain level of like camp to it, but because of the way that it was like constructed and pulled together, I think in general it's just beautiful. It actually kind of like gives me like a little bit of like Schiaparelli vibes in a way. There's a jacket that had like the little palm trees sticking up, I think last year's Haute Couture collection, but very different thing, entirely different. But like it just gives me that feeling of like you get the depth and the space that it takes up. But like thinking now, I'm like relating to the song, I'm like, if it is about like loving yourself, then I'm like, is this meant to represent an orgasm? Which I'm like, if it is, cool. But in general, I love this look. I think it's so fun and like snappy. This look on its own has a lot of personality, and that's one of the reasons why I just think it's so interesting to just look at. I would love to see this more closely, like in movement. Okay, we're gonna skip a little bit more of the album, and I wanted to jump to Church Girl. So the look for Church Girl, the look for Church Girl, the look for Church Girl is wild. I love this. So again, we're seeing like a very like body forward bodice. This time this one is 3D printed and then like electroplated to get the silver on it, which I think is insane. For me, that's the most like exciting part of it, but then I think the black and red cape is also very beautiful. And then you can't discount the hat, which is like it's like a vinyl. I think you can't see it in the images that they posted, but in the video you can see the top of it, and it really looks like a huge vinyl, and I think it's hilarious. But I just love this look. Again, we're seeing like that kind of contrast between something that's very like form-fitting, but it's not like clingy, like it's not like a scuba dress or a scuba outfit or in general or something like that. And then just the vinyl on top. Maybe I just don't get it, but I just think it's a little silly, and I love that about it. Like I do understand the look of like the bodice, because Church Girl is you know, people would describe it as like the most explicit song from the album ish. So then like to see it like very much showing off the torso with like the red, it reads as regal and kind of like royalty. In the article it actually like says like like the vinyl record hat makes for the perfect crown for Beyonce. Which, like, I get it, I see it, and I love it. I do think it's, like, funny that this is the song that they chose to do, like, the regal look to. I guess it does make sense, though, because, like, you're owning your body, you're owning your sexuality. Oh yeah, I didn't even read the line for it. Sorry, guys. I'm warning everybody, as soon as I get in this party, I'm gonna let go of this body, I'm gonna love on me. When you hear that lyric, not from me, from actual Beyonce, it's like, okay, yeah, I see the vision, and I appreciate it, and I think it's chef's kiss. I can't wait to talk about this one. This look for Plastic Off the Sofa, like any of the comparisons I made, I'm making them out of love. This one really reminds me two things. One, it gives kind of like that Moschino camp kind of vibe, because there's a certain amount of softness and funniness to this look. But like as we talk about it more and go into more of the details, it's easier to understand how it's not just completely camp. But it also reminds me of that the dress from The Devil Wears Prada that the James Holt team made exclusively for Miranda Priestly, but it's just like a dress with a huge bow. It's like really ugly, and that's when Miranda purses her lips and she's like, and then he has to change the whole collection. But I brought that up because I will say that this dress is absolutely nothing like that. But then the whole idea of like looking into like the archives of BALMAIN and like seeing that this look ties into the history of one of the like iconic BALMAIN house codes, I guess you would call it, of like working with bows, and the fact that it's a bow like flipped upside down, which then ties into one of the other BALMAIN icons, which is like a smoking jacket, I think you would call it, right? So it is a smoking jacket, but it's called Le Smoking. Oui. This like house icon turned like on its head, and then the bows that come up, which are normally hanging, like kind of like the little dangly bits, and they actually kind of like mimic like the smoking jacket lapel. I think is super smart. I love when you're reinterpreting a house's like most iconic essence, kind of flipping it on its head. There can be a little bit of humor, but then if you of course look into the history and like realize where the references are coming from, you see like, yeah, it looks a little silly, but then you also get, instead of like maybe like it looking actually silly, it looks more just like lighthearted, and there's a bit of playfulness. I love that for this look, because while the front is silly, the rest of the outfit is quite sensual. Like it looks like a lot of parts of the body are quite exposed. Oh my god, I forgot to read the lyric again. But the lyric for this one is, like it, I love it, baby. It's like Chex Notes. I like it, I love it, baby. Yeah. But Plastic Off the Sofa is this very like sensual and like, the article calls it sultry, so I'm gonna use that word as well. Very like disco kind of sound. I love this song. For them to like incorporate that kind of like sensuality in the making of it, but then adding a little bit of that lightheartedness. I think it's fantastic. Alright, the next look I wanted to talk about is the one based on Fic. I'm gonna read the lyrics first this time. So the lyric that this is based off of is, he thought he was loving me good, I told him go harder. She thought she was killing that shit, I told her go harder. So, as one does. So it's a black bodysuit with a bustier that has this chandelier aspect to it. And I know what you're thinking, it's like, oh, didn't Moschino also do a chandelier, blah blah blah, like however many years ago? And it's like, yes, that did happen, but like, I think that one was the literal interpretation of it. While this one, yes, of course it is inspired by that, but the silhouette of this, the form of it, it's not as like campy as that one. Like, yes, it still does look very much like a chandelier, but it doesn't have the same kind of like roundness to it. Wait, hold on, does this light up? Oh yeah, tech. It does light up, and that just really solidifies it as one of my favorite looks from here. Like, I love things that light up. But I also think that even like the small detail of like, yes, it's very simple with the black bodysuit, the turban, and then the shoes, but then like the small detail of like the earrings being like the same kind of like crystal shape that exists on the bustier, I think is just a little beautiful final touch when it comes to like tying the look together across like from head to body. I do also love that it's kind of like this literal take on ballroom, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of this album is ballroom inspired, right? It's very disco, very ballroom. To have one of the looks be like, oh yeah, ballroom, like ballroom, right? Like, all right, and then the last look I wanted to talk about is the one that's inspired by Pure Honey. The lyric behind that is, you know, it's Friday night and I'm ready to drive. So in the article, Olivier mentions that this look specifically is very much about ballroom. And I think you can kind of see like the ostentatiousness and like the boldness and the like unabashedly like loud look that you're seeing. Like, you have this very like maximalist driven kind of like black and white mashup of patterns and mashup of like materials. Like, we see feather working done. The bodice is, again, it's 3D printed. They say it's the same varnish or the same kind of coatings that you put on like jets so that it's like extremely shiny, and that like kills me, because it's like amazing to see like these strong contrasts, like black and white. Obviously when you look at color, black and white is like the strongest contrast you can get, right? And then to have something that has like a little bit of fluff, a little bit of like softness to it, to be like almost constricted in the middle with this like 3D printed bodice that again is form-fitting. I'm gonna have to like really like listen to this album again. I was already 0.05% of Beyonce's top listeners last year, but I need to like parse through these lyrics. I want to like really understand everything, because I think already, like with this last look, we've seen like these like really strong contrasts and playful homage to like ballroom scene culture. But then I think what I want to do is be able to like really understand like as many references as possible and know what is actually being said. Because when I listen to music, I listen more for the music and the lyrics follow. I'm not like a very lyrics forward person, but I want to understand that so that I can really like appreciate not just these looks, but also like during the concert, like what is being done and what is being said and how that actually relates to the music, to the history, and to any references that she's making. From what I spoke of, were just 12 of the 17 looks. There's 16 tracks on Renaissance, which means I think that there's one look that's going to be specifically just, or more generally just about Renaissance. I think we've had the video going on and you can see there's some looks that don't correspond to any of the looks if you look in the Vogue article. So I'm really curious to see which of these looks line up with the other tracks. Because the ones we're missing are Alien Superstar, Cuff It, America Has a Problem, and Heated. There's a video of BEYONCÉ wearing like one that has like a bunch of like crystals all over it. I feel like that might be the Renaissance overview look because it kind of like is reminiscent of like a disco ball. I'm dying. I'm literally dying to see what those other 4 looks are. Because you know, these looks are this good and they're not showing all of the other ones with their notes. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna like scream. I'm gonna like pee myself. Like, that's literally what's gonna happen to me. But in any case, I'm gonna wrap this video up because I just said that I'm gonna pee myself. I'm not gonna do that. Not on camera, at least. But yeah, that is like a quick look into some of the looks that I find the most interesting from this collaboration. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have a favorite look from there? Because I would love to hear about it, and I would love to hear your thoughts. You know I love hearing from you guys. But that is all I have for you today. So if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know that you like this kind of content and that you too care about the design behind designer luxury. Until next time, bad bitches to the left. Oh wait, no, that to the left. Money bitches to the right. We can be both. Be in the middle. Dance all night. This is how I'm gonna dance at the concert. You're not gonna be able to stop me. Just kidding, I'm not.